All right, here we go. So, what piece of art inspires me the most? Uh, Strangely enough, for a guy going for his BA in creative writing, movie guy, it's music. More appropriately enough, movie music, film scores, especially the music of James Horner, one of my favorite composers, if not my favorite composer. I first kind of crossed paths, I guess you could say, with Horner back in the 80s. Yes, I was a child of the 80s. No chuckling from any of you younger kids in the class. With a movie called Krull, where it was a cheesy 100% knockoff of Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, all put together. But Horner's music really kind of made it into that space opera that Star Wars was. Um, my favorite piece of music or my favorite score from Horner would be his Field of Dreams score. One of the most beautiful pieces of score music I've ever heard. The movie itself is already poetry on screen, and the score just adds more to that element. Um, the emotional effect it has on me is a good one. I never really knew my father, never met my father. So at the end of the movie, for those of you who have seen it, you know that Kevin Costner runs into his father at the end, who has passed away several years back, and wants to have a catch with him on the baseball field. Well, Horner's music in that scene really drug out an emotional chord with me, and I'm not afraid to say I shed a few tears, and so did a lot of guys, I'm sure. Um, why is that my favorite score? Because I love the way he uses the instrumentals. He uses chimes to simulate the wind in the cornfield, um, piano to simulate the father theme between father and son, um, instruments from the 1920s, 30s, 40s for the old baseball players coming out of the cornfield. It's just a great score. What does it inspire me to do? It inspires me to write. It inspires me to sit down, plant my butt in a chair, do my work, and get things done. It's beautiful music, and I challenge you to watch the movie, and then when you're done, listen to the score and tell me that the chimes do not remind you of the wind, and that the old 40s music does not remind you of old baseball players coming out of the cornfield, and tell me you don't cry at the end when he asks his father to have a catch.